Hello, my name is Eirini Stogioudi. I am from Greece and I am a forest environmentalist. I had the privilege of representing my country, Greece, as a Greek UNESCO MAP youth delegate at the historical event of the United Nations Youth Climate Action Summit in New York last year, after being nominated by the Greek MAP committee. It is with great honor that I am given this opportunity to share my experience of my participation in the UN Youth Climate Action Summit. My generation believes in the status and power we, the youth, possess that enables us to be at the forefront of all events and to campaign for worldwide issues that trouble each and every one of us here today. We fight for climate change and its devastating consequences throughout the world. We struggle for recovery from this global environmental crisis. We promote the Sustainable Development Goals that have been initiated by the United Nations. We strive for net zero carbon dioxide emissions by 2050. We have foresight and we act for a better world. As Nelson Mandela said, vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision is merely passing time, but action with vision can change the world. And we do have visions and the willingness and the power to act. Our vision being one and only, a better world for all the future generations. Let this vision be the target for each and every one of us. All of these objectives were voiced at the first ever UN Youth Climate Summit, bringing together more than 700 youth climate leaders from more than 140 countries and territories to share and declare collective frustration about government inaction on climate change and discuss climate solutions for the future. The UN Summit comes a day after an estimated 4 million people took the streets worldwide as part of the global strike movement. The strikes made national headlines, highlighting the power and spread of this youth movement in their unwavering demand for change. As the Swedish activist Greta Thunberg said in her message at the UN Summit, we show that we're connected and the young people are unstoppable. The summit opened a dialogue between youth and decision makers, putting young people in the driving seat with voice to realize their potential and show their persistence towards climate action. It brought youth climate champions together from more than 140 countries to share their solutions at a global stage and deliver a clear message to world leaders. We need to act now to address climate change. The Youth Climate Summit featured a full day of programs that united young activists, innovators, entrepreneurs, and change makers committed to combating climate change at a pace and scale needed to meet the climate challenge. The United Nations Secretary General Envoy on Youth said, "Climate change is a defining issue of our times. Millions of young people all over the world are being affected by it. If we don't act now, the impact will be severe." Also, at the Youth Summit, young entrepreneurs presented their innovative business ideas concerning technological solutions for combating climate change. Moreover, it is worth pointing out that special reference was made to island nations and the impact of climate change. Also, much emphasis was given to the fact that carbon dioxide emissions at a global level are increasing atmospheric temperatures and the devastating impacts of climate change are growing. Climate change is affecting the lives of all people, but for 1.8 billion young people between the ages of 10 to 24 years old, the issue is felt with far more urgency, as it will shape their lives in a way they never witnessed it before. For the younger generation, the need for urgent climate action has never been clearer. Secretary General Antonio Guterres concluded his talk at the summit by reflecting his generation's failure in face of climate change. As he stated, our planet has warmed and little has been done to curb the consequences of this warmer world. However, the fight is not over. Moreover, he said that his generation has largely failed to preserve world justice and as well as climate. He added that his generation has a huge responsibility. He also called on all leaders at the UN Climate Summit with concrete and realistic plans to enhance their nationally determined contributions by 2020 in line with reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 45% over the next decade, and net zero carbon dioxide emissions by 2050, and to fully transform economies in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. My experience at the United Nations Youth Climate Action Summit was unique. The fact that I found myself on an international stage where the biggest political decisions are made with such a large and brilliant delegation of young people was a remarkable once-in-a-lifetime experience, allowing me to grow at a personal and a professional level. During my participation, I was given the opportunity to enrich my knowledge on the subject of climate change. I had the opportunity to meet new people with a vision and exchange ideas with other UNESCO delegates from around the world. Needless to say, the new friendships were also created. I also participated in various workshops, such as the Science of Networks, carried out the March for Science movement, which connects the most important young leaders in the world with substantial action to protect the environment. In this workshop, I had the pleasure of supporting and promoting the organization of the Mediterranean Information Office for the Environment, Culture and Sustainable Development, and establishing contacts who would like to work with this organization. Finally, I was given the opportunity to give an interview at the Earth Day Network, where I shared my views on climate change and my vision on tackling this climate crisis. I also had the honor to attend a coalition meeting on nature-based solutions to tackle climate change. It was attended by various political leaders, ministries of environment, as well as CEOs of large companies. These solutions include the preservation or restoration of forests, terrestrial and marine ecosystems, biodiversity protection, and eco-friendly farming. The results of these meetings are that the nature-based solution can exploit nature's capacity to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and provide a critical response to climate change and sustainable development at a pace and scale required. The message of the Youth Climate Summit was clear that governments must stop fossil fuel subsidies and rethink their transition to clean energy, and they must do so now. The climate crisis cannot be resolved unless there's necessary political will. However, time is running out and action must take place immediately. Climate change is a battle of survival and we're losing it. Time is not on our side. All youth from all countries must contribute towards a global effort by doing their share. I pray for my children's generations and for all future generations, hoping that we have not turned a blind eye to these devastating consequences. For the sake of all future generations, our planet Earth, each and every country, and each citizen must take action now to combat this world crisis. Let's remember, if there's always a plan B, there's no planet B for us. Thank you very much for your attention.